Here at Electrify Expo in Vancouver, BC, we have got some exciting things and some not exciting things. Let's start with exciting. I got JoshWest247 in the house. He is graciously agreed to join for the discussion. Josh has got decades in automotive, legacy side. We don't hold it against him. Decade and a half. He sold them. He managed the places that sold them. He knows a thing or two. And if you've seen his channel, you know that, and if you haven't seen his channel, now's your chance, link in the description. I'm Brian, welcome to Future Ozza. So we're gonna start with the not exciting here, Josh.
Yep.
What could be less exciting than a Buzz Forks?
Yeah.
What do you make of this car?
Well, in my opinion, it is kind of a haphazard kind of throw together EV. Anybody that's done any research on the vehicle knows that as far as its EV specs go, it's severely substandard to what else is available in the industry. And you don't even have to put it up against, one of the guys like Rivian or Tesla. You can actually put it up against even a GM product, and it just doesn't stack up to something like the new Equinox. Yeah, it's very obvious from a vehicle like this that Toyota's focus is not in EV. We actually have this full EV here, but the other vehicles that they have are not electric vehicles. They are, hybrids. They're looking at, spreading themselves too thin, in my opinion.
Oh, so you're telling me that there could be a disadvantage to making one platform that is gas, hybrid, ICE, EV, and hydrogen?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's dumb.
Sure.
And so what they're doing here is showing two hybrids and the least compelling Toyota. Now, I have an answer to this question, but I want yours first. Who buys this? Because you've sold cars of every kind.
Yes, so you're gonna get two buyers, I believe, that are gonna hop into the BZ4X. The number one is gonna be that loyal Toyota buyer. So it's that person that has always owned Toyota and they're like, Toyota gas cars have been fantastic. And I agree with that. Again, decade and a half in the industry, and they build very reliable, very robust cars. You cannot argue with that data. Now, getting into electric vehicles is a completely new market. So you're kind of, I don't want to say this wrongly, but it's a little bit ignorant to assume that just because they make great gas cars means they're going to build great electric cars. But unfortunately, there's a lot of consumers that feel that way. The other type of consumer that's going to purchase this vehicle is one that just simply hasn't done their research. That maybe it's their first electric car, they're assuming Toyota is going to be great, and they've got a good salesman at the dealership that convinces them to buy this car because Toyota has really nothing else to sell when a customer walks through the door that wants an electric vehicle.
So I'll tell you who I know that buys it. I was at a gas station buying a coffee pot. It's a long story. And from Facebook Marketplace, and a guy rolled up in his brand new, still had the temp tags on it, and I said, why? Killer lease deal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he got
dollars. Okay.
Zero down, maybe $270 a month.
Yep.
And he's like, and he's never driven an electric car. So he said, it's just like a Tesla. I said, have you driven one? No. I'm like, I'm just going to nod and smile because I'm happy for you, my friend.
Yeah.
You're spurring adoption. You're convincing Toyota that someone actually wants these, which is good.
Well, listen, if you give away a vehicle, there's going to be people to take that almost free vehicle. Actually, I just heard, I think it was Kyle Connor, guys in Colorado with all the rebates. The Nissan Leaf is like almost free. It's like what, like $15 a month or
10,
something?
$20,
yeah,
something
it's like
ridiculous.
Nothing. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So of course those cars are going to fly off the shelves because you're giving it away. Anybody can give it away, but the problem is these guys aren't building a vehicle that's compelling. And if you're going to give the car away, what kind of a business model is that, right?
We lose tremendous money, but boy, do we do it in volume. Well, that's the thing is, if you'd have asked me, what would it take for me to lease a Nissan Leaf? I would have said there's nothing, there's no way. And then if you said, how about, what was it, 500 down, $10 a month, I'd have said, I'll take 20.
Of course, yeah. Cheaper than a phone.
I'll put it on Turo, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only rent it out 10 days out of the month without hitting my limit. Now we're walking because we went from not exciting to much more exciting Polestar. You've had a chance to look at these, haven't you?
I have. We actually, when the Polestar 2 came out, we sold quite a few of them used at the used electric vehicle portion of the dealership that I was running. And to be honest, again, if you set Tesla apart, But looking at the Polestar with a positive attitude, of course, I think they build a good product. I mean, they ride great. They've got the Google technology in the touchscreens, which again, when you have a technology-based vehicle, you've got to have a good tech company on board. That's one of the problems with the legacy automakers like Toyota, is because you hop in, start using their screens, and you very quickly realize that they are working out of the 90s in comparison to some of these guys that have like kind of that modern Android feel, with fast reaction touchscreens, proper navigation, voice command, vehicle, being able to use all the features of the vehicle through software rather than hard buttons. So I think what Polestar's done here is actually a great thing. They've got a lot of that Volvo DNA, which is strong, safe vehicles that ride really well. The handling's fantastic. I love their performance models. Where they use things like Olin suspension, Brembo brakes. Like, these are really premium components. They're going to translate into an excellent ride. The thing that I most love about Polestar is that they're a pure EV brand, and they don't have those gas cars dragging them down.
Now, the Polestar 1 was a hybrid, and everything since was electric?
Polestar 1 was quite the anomaly, because that vehicle was like every type of powertrain conceivable. It was turbocharged, supercharged, gas, electric, hybrid, plug-in. It was like unreal. And in its own way, it's kind of cool. And I think down the road, they'll become a bit of a collector car. But again, super expensive, very sporty car. But what I am excited to see from Polestar is things like the Polestar 3 here, again, a mid-size SUV, the Polestar 2, and Brian, you're going to show them what else they got.
We are. First, I wanted to mention, if you look here, you'll see that this is functional. This is an actual through section. And the reason I think this is for is so that they can get better aero performance with pedestrian safety.
Oh, yeah.
Because having that up a little bit higher gets closer to your hip. The neat thing is, now I see a lot of people who will say, yeah, but this is a Chinese car. It is. They're Chinese owned, right? Yep. So, okay, but they're not designed in China.
Right.
So,
Swedish DNA.
So is Tesla a Chinese car company? Because they make cars in China.
They do.
With non-Chinese engineering, but with also Chinese engineering.
Right.
So we could go to the Polestar 4, but I'm just too excited. I can't help it. We have to go to the beauty here.
Absolutely.
Now, you had a chance to look at this up close yesterday. I mean, this close, but first impressions.
Well, when you come down the stairs here at the event, this is the first vehicle that you see, and man, this thing is a looker. It's got such wide hips. It's beautifully designed. I would almost argue, and I might get a lot of hate for this, but it's got a little touch of Corvette DNA.
Oh, I can see that.
Okay, a little Corvette in there. But man, have they nailed the design on this thing. And we need more convertible EVs. There's really nothing in this space. Give me a hot, convertible that just is quick, quiet, fun. And this is the BST, man. It's a beast.
Maybe it's the silver, but the hips remind me of a Nissan Z.
Okay, yeah. Curvature in the rear end there, for sure.
And I'm getting, a little bit of older Ferrari vibes, but still very
458
modern.
Italia kind of on the front corner here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they went as far as to put crazy weight tires on it.
Mm-hmm. But it is very Polestar.
Now, my question is, and you and I don't know the answer, but we can speculate, why don't companies build cars like this? They love to show them, they hate to build them.
Yes, and that's always been kind of a sore spot with me, with manufacturers that build these concept cars. We get all excited, we're like, oh my gosh, if they could just build that, I would buy that, I'd be lined up to go for it. But, the one thing actually I will say that Tesla actually builds vehicles, when they showed us the Cybertruck, man, it's pretty darn close. And honestly, if Polestar builds this car and it's as close to this unit that we see right here as the Cybertruck was to its original concept, they'll sell every single one they can make. 100%.
I can see, you would only need another inch on the suspension for the travel to not rub the fenders. No, for real.
Yeah.
The door is of sufficient ratio that the windows would roll up. There's no reason you can't. The front end is, I think, sufficiently pedestrian safe. If not, it wouldn't take much to get there.
Yeah.
And even just lifting the car an inch or two. Air suspension would do that. You could have
a lot of supercars do have that air suspension.
now.
They have that
Okay.
little button that you can hit when you're doing low speed to go over speed bumps, load them in and out of trailers, all that
I did
sort of
not
thing.
know that.
Yeah.
That's, I hope that this is something that they will make. Look at this, it's got a charging status on the wing there.
That is cool. So this little feature here, that charging status LED readout, is actually in use right now, very similarly in the Rimac Nevera.
Oh.
So I did a video on that vehicle when it was unveiled at the Toronto Auto Show in Canada. And that was kind of one of their hallmarks, is that they have these external, really kind of uniquely placed charging status indicators. And some of them have RGB LEDs that can kind of change color and give you an idea what's happening with the car. And they're customizable through the screen. Huge diffuser on the back of this thing. It's very
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something you would have to add, because I don't see manufacturers generally doing that. But even if it's something you have to add yourself, that would be no big deal. Wow, look at the tread on the tires. That's bizarre.
Yeah, those are like
It's
a
like
slick
a street
almost.
slick,
Yeah.
but barely.
But I could see, they could tone down some of the styling, but still have it really tasteful. I think that's
And that's what
certainly doable.
I hope that's what the Cybertruck has shown us. You can release something that looks like the
A
concept.
radical. Yeah.
You can get outside the box, because if you go to the Peterson Museum, I don't know if it's still on display, the prototype, you will see differences.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're very subtle, and no one would notice. They also have at the exhibit the Model S, the original Model S
Right,
prototype.
that's right, yeah.
It looks quite a bit different now that you see it. And then, of course, we've got the Polestar 4, which is about to be released.
Yep. This is going to be an exciting vehicle for the brand.
Yeah, I've had a chance to see these, get up close with it at the Polestar showroom in Portland. It's interesting that there's no back window.
Yes.
But how much,
Cool
which
feature.
model do you drive? The Y?
So I drive a Model S.
S. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got a back window.
I do.
I have a Y. I don't use it. The other day I noticed, it's been fogged the whole time. I use the cameras.
So I actually have a privacy screen in mine because I do a lot of car camping, and I just leave it in.
Yeah.
Because when I need to see at the back, I just hit the camera and away I go.
So I would have said, what a terrible idea, until I actually stopped to think about it compared to my daily usage.
Well,
and this is, yes.
And sorry, we were talking about Cybertruck. There's a great example. When that vault is closed on the Cybertruck, hey, you're using the camera.
Yeah. And of course, this you could put a wrap of black on it so people think you have a back window.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is,
It's kind of cool looking though.
It's
different.
It's different. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it doesn't matter, because styling is something where you are free to decide.
Absolutely.
There's no wrong answer except Gen 1 Nissan Leaf. That was an ugly car.
Right? The headlight that just walked its way all the way up the fenders.
And by the way, do you know why the Nissans had the headlights that poked out like that?
Why is that?
Pushes the air around your mirror.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it was to just push me away from the styling.
It also is very good at that. So guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Huge thanks to JoshWest247. Sometimes he heads back home, and then we call him Josh East, but he doesn't change his handle on X. You can find him on X. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him wherever quality auto parts are sold in your local neighborhood. See store for details. Prices and participation may vary, but Josh does not. Everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots, perhaps in a Polestar showroom.
See ya.